furniture, it probably is going to come in a box that hasn't even been used. That's what mine was. And I got it for like around $400.
So you're saving money tamping yourself. That's not bad. I probably would do that because I'm not lazy.
Exactly. The tamper's not a big deal. It already has the built-in grinder and all that, right? And I actually measured it. I don't leave all the beans like in the grinder to like do itself. I actually measure out 18 grams on a little scale, and then I throw the beans in there, 18 grams worth. And then I grind it up, and then the grinder's empty when I'm done, so I know that I'm getting exactly that much. And then I make the shot, and then but it steams its own milk. It is helpful to have the one that steams its own milk instead of having to do that manually. That's kind of a pain in the ass.
Now, this is a fully automatic or semi-automatic?
It's semi-automatic. You still have to do the whole thing. You still have to put it in the basket and hook it in, and then pull a shot, and then pour the shot in a cup. It doesn't do all that stuff. Like a fully automatic, when you just put a cup under there and it would do it all.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have a super automatic, a DeLonghi Dama Avant.
Yeah, that's like, those are rich. Those are like $3,000, right? Something like that. Like the built-ins, they make them for built-ins for rich people and shit.
This one doesn't build in, but they originally were that. You can get them used for anywhere from $500 to like $1,200.
Yeah, the one I have is you have to legit make it yourself. Like Starbucks level make it, basically. But it's worth
Circle K guy, so.
Circle K. I don't think we have Circle Ks.
Anybody fan of McDonald's coffee?
I like McDonald's coffee.
Too much cream and sugar, though.
I think that's the best thing in that entire store is the coffee. Like, that is like pretty decent quality coffee.
Yeah, well, they're Coca-Cola too. I don't even drink Coke, but their Coke is like having a cake. Like if you want dessert, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they have their own special formula. I used to be a huge McDonald's coffee girl. Like every day, that's what I wanted. But I got one of those Italian mocha
pot.
espresso pots. Yeah, and it completely changed my taste in coffee now. Now I only make it myself. It's next level. Yeah, it's next level.
So I will say, this is actually a McDonald's update. McDonald's HQ came out with an announcement this week that they're trying to lower the prices of their menus because they have seen a reduced amount of customer traffic and people are not going to McDonald's. They have raised prices 300% over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah,
so they're trying to negotiate with the different franchises to bring the the Big Mac down. It's like $18 at this point. They're trying to get it back down to they're trying to get it down to 12. Kind of more reasonable because they're losing customers because McDonald's has got to it.
Well, part of the thing with McDonald's is that there's a perception that a value meal, the Whopper, is $18. There are some places that does occur. Their goal is to get the Whopper in a value meal to have any of the value, not the Whopper, Big Mac, the same Whopper, Big Mac. You polluted my mind. And they're trying to have the sum of the parts be 15% less than if you bought them individually. So part of this is a perception thing with McDonald's. But I think the Big Mac runs right around, if you bought it individually, about $5.39 across the country, except in some of the high market areas like California, where they have to pay $20 an hour wages.
Which is crazy.
Do you think it's also because of the play places, though? It used to be a destination spot. You take your kids there for not just dinner, but to hang out and play. And all of that is closed down. So they had to increase their price of food because it's no longer a play place, right? I mean, they're kind of screwed. Because what's the point of going to McDonald's now with your kids and your family if you can't play there? It's not the same.
Tali, are you in a rural area?
No, not. Well, kind of. I mean, I'm in Phoenix, but Mesa, so on the outside.
Interesting.
So, yes.
We don't even have any of those down here in South Florida. The play areas, we don't have. They just.
Yeah, they don't really exist.
We used to. They closed them all down. During COVID and everything, they've taken it all away.
Well, they just went through a major remodel program over the last 10 years, and part of the major remodel program was removing the indoor play areas to change the kitchens, give them more space back there, and add more seating. Not that they needed more seating, because more of their percentage of their business is carry out and delivery now.
He mentioned, it's Howard, is he the one who mentioned Circle K? Because I was in Florida and there was so I was in Florida and there was a Circle K there, and I bought a couple things, right? So I had like my arms full of something and a couple things, and I walked up and there was this mat where the cashier is on the table, and it has like a grid on it, and then each corner of the mat had like a pole sticking up with cameras facing down onto the mat from all four corners, and she's like, put all that stuff on the mat. And I stuck it all on the mat, and it immediately rang it up. It doesn't look at the UVC.
Amazing, right?
It's like a picture of the shit that was just on the mat and priced it.
And then you can put your gas on there too, so you don't have to talk to anybody. It rings it all up. Put your gas on your pump and bag
it's not
it
even
yourself.
doing UPCs. It's using AI to like just say, oh, that's a bottle of Gatorade from the top. It just knows what it is. It's bizarre.
And there's still somebody at the cash register though?
Yeah, but they just tell you how much it is.
Or
Like
make sure you don't walk out with stuff without paying.
Yeah,
Right?
they take the money. Oh yeah.
Or if you need something behind the counter, like if you're getting cigarettes and stuff like that.
She told me to put it on there, and then she actually just took my money. I did the card with her, but she knew what it was, how much it cost immediately. It just appeared on her screen.
Well, and they're trying to do the whole shopping experience like that too, where they see you take it off the shelf and they add it to your list of what you're buying, and you check out. You just walk out with all your stuff you took off the shelf, and it charges you accordingly.
Yeah,
Like a
they were doing
hotel
that.
bar, where you, like when they remove stuff like a hotel bar.
It's done by video though, I think.
Yeah, it's not.
Wild.
Is it RFID? Is that how they do it? I think they might do it by
They
RFID.
can do it that way. The Amazon stores were supposed to be cashierless.
Yeah, those were RFID, I think.
Yeah,
Because you could like take it out as it didn't mark it when you took it out of the shelf necessarily. It marked it when it was put in the
car. In the car, yeah. And I never went to one. I wanted to go to one, but it wasn't any near me.
I think those closed down. Seattle had some, but I don't think they have them anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out.
With respect to what Holly said, she mentioned that when someone said, kids aren't drinking or smoking anymore, Holly said, that's kind of weird. I wonder what you meant by that, Holly.
Yeah, me too.
Sure. It's kind of hard to explain, but I guess I'll give it a shot. I don't like it as a trend because a few reasons. I think it's part of the pacification of this country. I think we're becoming less fun as a culture. I think that it's a little bit cultish. This whole like overly health conscious, it's almost like a religion at this point, like a superiority thing. It's obnoxious to me. I just don't, it's un-American. I don't believe in it.
It's funny you said that. I watched a movie, and literally, the guy was driving. It was one of the old movies, and he was driving. He had a martini or something in his hand, and a cigarette in one hand, and a cigarette in the other hand. So we've come a long way as a culture as far as the alcohol and all that. But I guess I don't understand why you think it's a bad thing. It's different. We used to be able to smoke on the airplanes. We can't do that anymore. There are lots of things we used to be able to do. We can't do. That doesn't necessarily make them a bad thing, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Well, it's easy. Americans we're puritanical, and we're very black and white, good versus evil, right versus wrong. Instead of a healthy relationship with alcohol, we've demonized it. Whereas, when you go to other countries like, South America, Western Europe, all of Europe really, Australia, they don't have that same relationship with alcohol. It's not like this demonized, shameful thing. And Americans we just have this habit of like very judgmental. We put things into good versus, right versus wrong. That's not healthy. That's cancer. Like, it's annoying. I find it very obnoxious. It's like, just learn how to fucking drink. If you can't drink and you have a problem, fine, don't drink. But like this whole culture, like a movement of not drinking, I don't like that.
Yeah,
You're talking
there's also
kids?
the second thing I do think Holly, she's mentioned this in other rooms, so I don't want to steal her point. Like, there has been an increase in the under 35 crowd, like increasingly isolating in general. So like, yeah, like there's this thing like alcohol is kind of considered like a social thing. Marijuana generally usage, you predominantly stay at home for most folks and kind of stick to yourself. So like, if people are just switching from a social type of outlet to marijuana, I can see where her argument makes sense to me, where it's like, humans are not designed to be constantly isolating and alone, and the fact that you see skyrocketing rates of kids under 35 reporting that they are constantly lonely, I think that's a problem. But I don't know if that was Holly's point or not, but I kind of stole that.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. Real quick, just piggyback back on that. Yes, and when we were young, I don't know if y'all remember, but there is beauty and just, it's such a beautiful part of life, the spontaneity of not knowing who you're going to meet when you go out. The random I mean, even still, when I travel, my favorite thing to do is to wander aimlessly, like by myself, and go into a pub and talk to random local people. Like, that is my favorite activity. And so I feel like these young people, if they're on this bandwagon of like, just not like drinking, I don't know, they're missing out on some part of life that I find really beautiful.
I don't know what to think about that as I smoke my cigar and drink my Mad Elf Trogs 11% alcohol.
It disappoints me. I have twins who just started college, and neither one of them ever want to drink with me. I always thought that would be fun, so I'm kind of bummed.
That's funny you say that.
They literally don't. Like, I have these the margaritas in a can or whatever, and I was like, my daughter, I'm like, do you want one? She's like, no, Dad. I'm like, all right, I'll drink it myself. So the social aspect, I don't get it with my kids either. Meanwhile, when I was in high school, no shit, this is lie, but my mom was like the party mom, and she would hold these parties where all the kids would come over to my house, and they'd all get drunk in the rooms where they had to stay overnight. They're not allowed to leave when they get drunk because it's not safe. And my mom like gave my best friend head in high school, and it was just a fucking wreck. So I guess I should count my blessings that are very normal.
Did I get that correct? Never mind. Let me know.
You did. My mom did that. Yep. To my best friend. It's a real thing.
Was she at least good? Did he get?
Thankfully, he didn't go into much detail. Thankfully.
You mean he told you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. In high school, yeah, we're idiots. Guys are idiots. They tell you. Yeah. Well. Yeah. But I mean. Yeah. He told me later more. He didn't tell me in high school. He told me later.
High school kids are dumb. Like I was on the football team, right? And this massive group chat where all the guys on the football team would share all the news that the women would send to them, and then we would look at them. And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have a relationship with my mom anymore. Like, I don't let her have a relationship with my kids. I cut her off. There was a lot of shit going on.
Well, you're just lucky your friends are not dad to you now.
Jesus.
It would have been so much worse.
If that would have been worse, for sure.
Jokes don't want to rub it in, doesn't he?
I'm many years removed from it. I've dealt with the trauma.
Oh, bless your heart. No one you paid your house off. I get it.
Oh, dude, I'm the best dad ever. I learned everything not to do with my mom. She was a perfect bad example of everything. I totally made it all right.
My mom was not that bad, but I have a very beautiful mother who had me young, and so of course I was always, your mom's the MILF, and guys would come over and like ask my mom to prom, all this silly stuff. But I had a lot of freedom when I was growing up, and my house was definitely the party house too. And my mom would kind of like disappear. If she was there, she would like disappear. But a lot of times I was just there by myself, so I would throw like really fun party. I actually had a party once, and my baby brother, who was probably like 2 at the time, and he was in the crib still, I guess, so he was still pretty little. And he like crawled. I was supposed to be babysitting, but of course I threw a party. And he like crawled out at one point and like walked out. It was just like they were like hauling your brother. Just like standing there staring at everybody.
I had some awkward moments because like I wasn't super popular in high school, and but that was a smart ass. So like a lot of the athletes hated me because I talk shit, you know. And the football player, the star football player, the quarterback of the fucking team of my high school team. So my aunt was divorced and my mom was divorced a bunch of times, and so they decided to live together my senior year, and they got this house. They rented this house down by a lake where we could party on the lake all the time. And I think they did on purpose my senior year. So they could get old boys over. But anyway, the high school quarterback like hated me, like fucking used to beat me up, throw me against lockers and shit. And then meanwhile, his older brother was like banging my aunt, and so he'd come over to the parties. And I was like, oh fuck. So I had like this guy that would beat me up at school, and then he was like partying in my house and kissing my aunt. It was fucking bizarre, dude. It's a really fucking warped situation.
I'm gonna say something that probably everyone in this room was gonna disagree with me, but I think you should try to have a relationship with your mom because it's been my experience. Once they're gone, it's kind of tough, man. I mean, you really you really have to struggle. At least I did, you know.
I think the main thing is, see, I've been married a long time too. I've been married 27 years, and my mom treated my wife like shit too early on, and my wife told her like, you know, fuck off, basically. And so when I finally cut my mom out of my children's lives, it was when they were about 3 or 4. She was favoring one over the other. They're twins, but she was favoring one over the other a lot, ridiculously so. And I called her on it, and she said she wasn't. And then she admitted she was, and she said, well, maybe your daughter's easier to love than your son. And that's when I cut her off. I was like, you're not going to love one of my kids more than the other one and make the other one feel bad. I'm not going to let that happen. So now I feel like they're 18. They don't know her. I could go back and get to know her a little bit, but it's a weird thing because my wife she won't know her. She has no interest in knowing her again. And I live across the country as well, so it's a little bit easier to be different and separated like that. But the weird thing is at this point, I don't have anything to talk to her about. Like, she sent me a letter last year, and she's like, it's been long enough. Like, I think about you every day. You know, we need to touch base. We need to see each other. Can we meet somewhere, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I just know that she's such an asshole as a human being, and she's such a narcissist, and she's such a bad person that, like, she could never let me, like, get personal anyway. Like, if I told her, like, I'm feeling like this or whatever, she'd be like, oh, you know, suck it up, don't be a pussy, whatever. Like, you know, she's just like that. And so it was always like, what am I going to talk about? Politics or the weather? Like, there's nothing else to talk about with her. There's no depth there. And so going back to her, I'm like, I don't want to just talk about the weather and shit. And at this point, I'm over all the other shit, so I don't really want to bring that up either. So at this point, I really feel like I don't have anything to talk about. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
I this sentiment comes around a lot of like, you know, whether you should extend like grace to your parents or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, like, the way that I like to frame it is like, what would a parent have to do for a child to decide that the best choice for them is to eliminate this relationship? Like, there's always a lack of ownership and a lack of accountability for, like, I have a relationship with my parents, but, like, I have an aunt I don't talk to. And everyone always pressures me to engage with this aunt's bad family events, and I don't talk to her, first of all, because she's a condescending bitch, and second of all, she's very anti-gay. So my entire existence is a problem for this woman. And so why do I have to engage with her so I completely cut her out, right? But there's still like this social pressure to like re-engage and, you know, keep it in the family. And it's like, this is a toxic human being and I want nothing to do with that. I will be polite and cordial, but outside of that, you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think about it. Like, when she, to be honest, right now, if she died, I don't think I'd be sad. That's horrible to say, but I think I'd feel a nice relief. Like, oh, okay, well, that's finished. I don't know. Like, if I feel like that, then I don't know what I can go back to. You know what I mean?
Some people go from the toxic relationship. I think that's normal. That's like a very normal response. Like, I'm free from it.
Yeah. It's a sad situation, though. But I did want to say, with her favoring one child, I'm not saying that you did the wrong thing by protecting, you know, the other child's emotions. But I don't think it's very uncommon for grandparents to love a grandchild the most, and because some grandchildren, again, I'm not saying what you did was wrong, but I do think it's somewhat common for a grandparent to have a closer relationship.
Oh yeah, I'm interrupting. Did you hear him say it was a twin?
Well, it was a twin. It's a twin, and my son. The problem is my son is almost all my wife's DNA. My daughter is almost all my DNA. My mom had 2 boys, me and my brother, so she never had a daughter. So when my daughter was born, she immediately, like the narcissist in her, got immediately attached to, oh, that's one of me. That's a mini me, basically. And so she became obsessed with my daughter, and then she would totally like yell at my son and make him cry, and she would buy things for my daughter, not for my son in front of him. Just bullshit, really bad shit. And I think what she really fucked up is honestly when I called her on it and she admitted it, when she said, I guess your daughter is easier to love than your son. What that made me feel like was like, it's not about you. You don't get to choose which one to love. You have to love them both, and they're not doing anything to make it easy or hard for you. Like, it's not their job to make loving them easy for you. He doesn't make it hard for you either. He just isn't the person that you are attracted to. So I was like, so ultimately what it's going to do is it's going to hurt his feelings, and you're going to accuse me of being a bad dad every time he cries because somehow I'm spoiling him if I go buy him something because you didn't buy him anything but you bought his sister something. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's like she's like fucking with his mind, and she fucked with my mind when I was growing up. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17 in high school. I joined the Marine Corps to get the fuck away. I volunteered to go to Japan. They sent me away. I was gone. I never went back. Moved to Georgia. Like, there's a reason that I escaped, on purpose.
How do you handle that when your son, when his sister gets stuff, and how do you handle that?
Oh, it was so fucked up. I mean, we literally got off the airplane, went to go to lunch or whatever. My mom's like, hey, can I take her for a second? Yeah, takes her on this mall that we were in, and buys her a bunch of shit. She comes back with a bunch of shit. My son's like, what the fuck? And then I didn't say anything at first. I'm like, well, maybe she'll take him. She didn't take him. So then the night comes. Now she's playing with her shit. He doesn't have anything. He's like getting upset. I'm like, what the fuck? So I still didn't say anything. The next morning, maybe that night or the next morning, one of the two, we took him to Toys R Us, and we got him, he would let him pick out something. I came back, and my mom was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I took, my son to get something at Toys R Us because you didn't give me any, you got her something. And she's like, oh, you always spoil him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't even know him. You don't even know me.
What do you say to him? What do you say to him, though, about the situation?
I didn't explain away why she didn't. I literally just said, let's go get you something, buddy. Like, I just took care of it, but I didn't.
So bad for oh my god, it breaks my heart.
Oh, it was horrible. And he got over it or whatever, but at the same time, I remember one time, it's just simple things. Like, one time, my son knocked a lamp over. He was playing or something, and a lamp fell off the table or whatever. My mom's like, oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay? And I said, he's fine, Mom. And she's like, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the lamp. It looks like he might have, I thought he maybe broke it. And I'm like, you were addressing the lamp with, are you okay? Like, what the fuck? Like, my mom would walk in and turn lights off in the room when we're in there because she's going to bed, so she's just not going to let us sit in the light. It's bizarre.
Bro, that sounds like my mom.
What?
You're like the same mom in spirit. So I will say, like I do think that parents in America are gonna like this, but I think it's bullshit that you don't have a favorite child in general. Like, I'm gonna get a ton of pushback on this, but I had a favorite parent. Like, my mom was my favorite parent, and it was blatantly obvious to my dad. And he would even talk to my mom about why I didn't like hanging out with him. And he was as a kid, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And so I think some of this is human nature. Not to the extent I was describing.
Yeah,
that's
right. You don't verbalize that shit though. We don't verbalize.
You're saying you're like his mom? Is that what you're saying? A lot of people consciously having favorite kids, favorite parents, and not realizing.
You guys, I'm almost fucked up. My mom brought a guy in the house. He's like a boyfriend or something, or maybe even one of her random boyfriends. And I found this paperwork, and it was he had broken into a hotel room and a sliding door and went in there, and he was jerking off at the end of some bed for some girl. And she caught him, and he was arrested, and he was found guilty, and he served some time out of it. So my mom brought this guy into her house, and he was like almost our stepdad. And later on, I saw it, but never said anything. And later on, after the Marine Corps, I was hanging out with him. And I'm like, what the fuck was up with that guy, Lee? Like, how the fuck did you bring him in the house? He knew he was a sexual predator. The paperwork was in the fucking bedroom. And she's like, oh, please. He liked girls, not boys. I wasn't worried about you guys. I was like,
she's like, everybody jerks off. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So it's like that, I just had a lot of that in my life, right? Or like, she's like, I actually liked it because he was a peeping Tom, and when you go to your dad's house for the weekend, we dress in all black, we park at the end of the neighborhood, and we'd sneak out. And I don't know if you know this, but if you look where mini blinds are, there's a little hole where the cord goes through, where you can stick your face up against the window, and you can watch people having sex in there. We used to do that for fun. And I'm like, why are you fucking admitting to this, you creepy bastard?
It's that wonder that you're mentally okay, because this sounds like just unbelievable.
I'm super mentally okay, but I had to get the hell away as fast as possible.
Yeah, that would saved you, like getting out as soon as you could. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Marine Corps was beckoning me. I was like, oh please, anything, yes, please. Make it as hard, punish me, make it as hard as possible. I want it.
Mike, you wear a shirt that says, I survived, Mom?
No shit, I'm not. Yeah. No, I'm super, dude, I've been married 27 years. My kids are amazing. They both had well above 4.0 grade point averages. I mean, everything's good, Like, like I said, she was a perfect bad example. I literally made every decision opposite her.
That's amazing. The funniest part is you're sitting there and she comes in and she's like, I'm going to bed, and she turns off the lights and you're just like,
she's sitting in the fucking yard.
we're not going to bed. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Here's my mom's place. She's like, but it's my house.
Yeah.
I'm turning off the lights. And I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna, I was like, this must be female autism. That was like my conclusion. I was like, this is just what female autism is like. And I just have not seen it. I'm playing to example. Women are better diagnosed.
Yeah, Mike, do you have a sibling?
I do. I have a younger brother. He's pretty fucked up. Like, he's responsible, right? He's a sheet metal worker. He's been in the union forever. He has, retirement built up and all that stuff. But he's never been married. He's had multiple girlfriends, had abortions. Like, he doesn't believe in marriage. He tells me it never works for anybody. I'm like, hello, I'm your fucking brother. It works for me, And at this point, he won't talk to me anymore because I don't talk to my mom, and that really pissed him off. And so I kind of lost him in the process, which I didn't count on that. That part got sucked because I didn't really count on it. That he would be so attached to her. He's just gaslit by her, and he never got away like I did. So
that sucks to lose your brother, but she's we were trying to get one of you to take care of her, and it's gonna be more likely your own brother than you. And I think that's a blessing.
What's weird is she would block me, right? When I was growing up all the time, like it was almost like we were her boyfriends. Like she would talk shit about her girlfriends back and forth to each other, in order to like break up with us. But she didn't, she always had a problem with everybody we dated, whatever. Exactly. Right. Yeah, and that's why I broke it. That's why I said that's why I knew I didn't need my kids to know her, because I know how much I hated my grandma, because my mom made me know her. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, they already aren't feeling it. I'm not gonna make them do it. Like, I know that feels like this. I hope they value as you understand what your mom and your motivation. And I forgive her for it. Right. Yeah, and I totally forgive her. Like, I don't hold a grudge. That's why I don't want to talk about the old stuff anymore, right? Yeah, I get it. Your mom had, she might have had a hormone for it, but it is her choice how she moves about after a certain point. Like, there's a point when things not building shit that like sneaking and letting thing, right? However, it is at a certain point that take accountability for the shit you have and a way to fix it. And this whole, like, generational trauma, all that bullshit stuff, like, I mean, not bullshit, that stuff is true. However, you not taking accountability and fixing it, that's the problem. Yeah, 100%. I don't know why you was a children. Like you say, the interaction I do, the problem was the differences. You show differences like that, although your parents, to be honest, will say they have a favorite child. So let's call it what it is. But you so let's show the voice that behind these really children. And like someone else said, your mom was a big here. She definitely went through some stuff. But as a parent, is it your loyalty to your kids first or your parents? Like, for me, your family comes first. Your parents comes to your wife comes before your mother and your father, and your kids definitely come before your wife, right? So at a certain point, she's like number 15 on the list compared to. Yeah, that was my decision. I mean, I built to me, I felt like I built to me family. I can do it right. I know what not to do. This is my family. I don't need any more family.
You have to protect the peace. She says it is. It causes stress. My mother-in-law is very toxic, and I made the decision to pull back and not be involved in any logistics moving forward. And as soon as I did that, I said calmly, I said to my husband, I'm trying to see, but from here on out, I would like to be in charge of communication and logistics with your mother. I just can't do it anymore. And that was the best thing I've ever could have done. I have a hard time with boundaries, I have a hard time saying no. But as soon as he had to take over, and I wasn't the pledge or the, pass her off to me, I mean, it was big for my husband. She's done. She's out.
Thank you guys. This is my this is my list of this. And like this I did on here, I found my name years ago, right? So I have a family member, and like I say, from years back, I have a family member who was molested by one of my uncles. He's a male family member, molested by one of my uncles, and this particular uncle I absolutely loved and adored. He was just the coolest guy. I don't know if the family member that I'm talking about, solicitation, George, and most of the team out. But if he's just, I went to the easy option. But how do you navigate the situation? How do I still maintain the relationship with this great uncle that I have? Should I maintain it? I have to look at stuff.
So, that sounds super rough. The man would be immediately gone from my life. I didn't agree. I don't give a fuck how nice they are. Predators are known to be the
just assumed that, and I decided on my own not to have a relationship with a woman. And I don't know if that's the right decision or not.
Yeah, I think you asked a little off question. You should be asking the question, how do you get off the person who wants to make that money resolve things going on in your life, especially if you step forward. You could have been wrong, you have help.
Well, no, that he certainly he says he's got help. So he realizes that he can obviously have that type of behavior. Just to think you can follow you or show others. So he's
not too late for him to what the guy
Is it a conversation that's been had, like, as a confrontation, so to speak? Like, how do you approach one without evidence? That's where my first question came from is, like, if you had some questions of, like, specific time periods of when they were together, how things were, play a little detective, but at the end of the day, you'll find out the truth for yourself if you did that. And I feel, as I'm only saying, it's probably too late, but it's not too late to come to clarification. Over time, after the solicitation, you have a heart-to-heart and start to talk about what happened to him. But I think you have to believe him, and I think that's what reasoning was also. I'm interested in this. I'm going to say this and then shut up. I had was very good to me, and sold my personal heart. Was always went out of his way to help me. I found out later in life that he had molested my mother's younger sister, who was his stepdaughter. And, it put a longer light on. I couldn't change my journey and what you done to my him, but I had to put that in a place. It didn't change my feelings. He was good to me, but he was also this person who was fun and caused damage to my mother. Yeah, I feel like, Project, that if you want to know him as an adult, I don't think you're a bad person for having the feelings that you want to continue knowing him. Keeping that in mind, that it's highly likely that he's potentially that same that you were told he was. The important thing, I think, is to make sure that he's not around anybody that he could hurt. So, like, no kids around him. If you ever saw that, I would do my best to try to eliminate that for her again or whatever. I'd protect. I would become a protector of others around him, and I would use my opportunities to know him, to keep an eye and protect others from him at the same time. And you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can potentially save other people, and you can also know him, and you don't feel guilty about that. But I do think you have to believe what you were told. At the same time, and you have an obligation to protect anybody that might be at risk. So it's what I'm saying.
Instead of just saying, I don't know,
Well, you can do that too, for sure. I mean,
He's trying to question it. But your PC still questioning about if it actually happened.
My problem is that in situations there is almost no concrete evidence one way or the other, right? Like, I don't think it's wrong.
Listen, and the other thing is,
That's tough.
this person, the victim, and I'm just going to call the victim, he's not as passionate about this as I am. I'm not going to confront the guy, and I'm going to do all this stuff. And he's like, it happened, and just let it go. And so it's kind of like, where is your passion?
Right.
You're not supposed to know. Why should I do?
Project doesn't affect them. Is he trying to questionable in other behaviors? Like, has he done anything where he might not trust that he was being honest? Otherwise, because it's such a strong, charge on a human being. Like,
But this is the problem that people who have experienced sexual traumas usually have higher rates of addiction and normally have other extreme methods of acting out. They normally are hypersexual. They normally are doing drugs, right, to cope with pain, all that shit. Like, wish I had a clear cut answer, but I honestly,
I actually like, if he, all right, say you guys talked about it, okay, and if he actually admitted to it, would you still love him after the fact? Your uncle, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Stop that now. But I would absolutely.
that's so, nothing that would be, assumptions, this is assumptions, it doesn't really flesh out to the other family members that would flesh it out because sometimes people pick up on behaviors that are odd, that don't really fall into context until they think about it. I don't know, that's all. Just for the instance, for their awareness, right? Like my other brothers and sisters, but like then that kind of essentially shuts them out of the family informally, right? But either way, it's not an easy.
Some states, the statute of limitations on child sex abuse was not run out. That's the case in Maryland. So there is no limit. And it doesn't matter how long you have it. And reporting is something that should be on the table.
But that also opens a can of worms for the person who was molested and has to remember.
Other than the shame they're suffering now, I don't know which is worse.
You have to kind of have their approval in advance, because that's the only proof you even have. I mean, otherwise you're never going to get anywhere with it anyway. You have to have their,
They should participate as much as they're
exactly, they have to participate, which means they have to be okay with it.
well, now, if they are now being introduced to a child, then that's a different story.
I assume, I thought it was adult.
And it's really hard to criminally prosecute those cases. There's a weird kind of change that they sue you in civil court, and women are getting, and victims in general, getting better results in civil courts because you're saying, hey, I'm going to threaten to bring this case to criminal court. Once you settle in civil court, and for whatever reason the courts are okay with that, then take that for what you will. But I know cases have a little more pressure. Yeah, exactly. But it's also like, hey, is it reasonable to have that standard of proof for something that's so difficult to prove fundamentally, right? It's like it's you and me, my word versus yours, right? That's how often the cases are set up. So we've been that recently with like some of the like trauma victims that trauma victim memory. Like when you get challenged in court and the lawyer says, well, did you do this? You can actually go into a fight or flight moment and say something stupid and look against your case, even though that wasn't accurate or you didn't need to say that or whatever. So there's a lot that we can do, at least in the legal justice system, to fix those kind of issues with it.
I don't have an answer, and I get it's expensive, sexual abuse, and I know three women that have been sexually abused with my family members and with Ray. So this happens so frequently that nobody ever talks about it. So I just want to give you guys a shout out for just having the conversation.
This guy, the uncle that I'm talking about, this guy is a pussy lover, right? I mean, he had some of those.
Hello?
It is so hard. It's so hard to fathom. This is just
No bearing on anything.
No, it's totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. I mean, predators are
The
predators.
straightest people you'll ever meet are on the spectrum. Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're faced with a easy position to be in. The person who confessed to you that he was assaulted by your beloved uncle, you believe him or no?
I think yeah, I have to believe him. I choose to believe him, but at the same time, I have doubts because well, I'll put it this way: I'm not going to go and confront my uncle based on what he's tell me because he's not willing to do it. He wants to let it go, let it slide. And I'm thinking, if you're not going to at least put as much skin in the game as I'm going to put in, then what's the point?
Most men don't move forward.
Well,
and he's probably done it to some other.
Hold on. I haven't spoken in a while. Give me a minute, your piece. So, Project, understand that the average predator of children has 100 to 200 victims. And that puts a lot of pressure on your friend, and he still needs to know about it. Because it's not only him. Is your uncle around children now? Because what we don't want, for sure, is to have current or future victims, right?
But he has a family. He has a wife, his children.
The thing is they could still have families and they could still be predatory. But the key thing that you have to look at, Project, man, you really have to look at time, man. Time tells the truth. The time of when things are said and done tells the truth.
So, your piece, I know you were trying to say something. Like, I don't know if you got a chance to see what you. No. All right.
Project, you could call in an anonymous call to DFACS, just an anonymous tip, just to give them a little visit.
Okay, so like you said, we said that no other witnesses, it's not going to do anything. Would the cops even show up? Would the cops even show up?
DFACS.
What is defects? Oh,
Department of Family.
Potentially ruining someone's life.
No.
Well, no, you start those type of inquiries. You're going to ruin a person's life. And I think when I did do a background check. I did do a background check on him, and I didn't see anything.
I think
What state is this? Are you willing to share?
Kentucky was a state.
I had put something, I think that's very important in the chat. You know, predators, they often are upstanding members of the community because they try to look, you know, that if somebody accuses them, be like, what? That person? No way. So, you know, you're not necessarily going to see somebody with like a rap sheet. You know, they often are, you know, just somebody that you thought was a nice, decent, cool, you know, guy.
Exactly, yeah. There actually used to be a very fucked up Reddit article. When I was like in college and, you know, the internet was less censored then, I think, there was actually an article like from a rapist, like a person who's like, no, I like rape people and I know who to rape. I see you across the room, I can identify you and see oh, you've been traumatized? You're easy pickings. And I was like, holy shit. And then they went on to say, but I'm surrounded by, you know, soccer moms, like the women who help at the church and all this stuff. But even if you did, nobody would believe you. And so most of my victims know that the people in the community would never believe them. So that's how I get away with it for over 20 years. And I was like,
Well, yeah, there's a video out there too of a convicted pedophile. And Project, do you understand when I'm offering you these things to think about? I don't want innocent men accused of terrible things. Our cancel culture society will ruin their lives on suspicion alone. So it's not fair. It's not pretty. It's not nice. And if there's any part of you that thinks your uncle could have possibly done that, like...
So there's Monica, I struggle with this so much because I see where he's coming from. I have friends who are survivors of sex abuse, but I also remember the Ricky Martin scenario, right? Where his nephew came out and said Ricky Martin sexually assaulted me.
and therefore I want to. He filed the lawsuit. He ended up dropping the lawsuit, and Ricky Martin counterfiled the lawsuit because he's like defamation of character, all this BS, and he was like $30-40 million. And the nephew admitted that he just filed the lawsuit to extort money out of Ricky Martin in the deposition at the end of it, right? And he wanted to like make amends with Ricky Martin. So like there are cases where like stuff like that does so much damage to actual people go through sexual abuse, and it actually brings improvements. It actually doesn't like projects questions of what to do in the situation. It makes them even more valid because there have been false reports.
I said that, Nicholas.
I was adding support to what you were saying, Scarlett. Just give me an example.
Well, it sounded like you were disagreeing with me.
Oh, sorry. I get animated sometimes. My bad.
So I don't believe men. I don't believe women. I believe evidence. And then there's no evidence, so it's terrible.
The issue is evidence in these situations are so rare. I know I'm talking a lot. I promise I'll share the mic. But evidence in general just does not usually.
Yeah, and I interrupted your piece to get my little section out. So if you want to pick up the mic, your piece.
I mean, I think in the case of making allegations against somebody rich or famous or wealthy or whatever like that, there's a lot of vested interest in why that could be more problematic or more in need of serious questioning. But like this guy's not famous. It's not particularly rich probably, and this person that's claiming it isn't really trying to sue. Maybe not even want to get involved. Just got it off his chest. I don't know why he would have made it up after all those years. Like it seems to me that it's way more likely than not that it's true. But as for what to do about it, dude, I'm with the room. That's really hard. You have to either decide to get involved and make it your thing, or not get involved and let it be. You know what I mean? And then be there mentally supportive for the victim.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And AJ said this in the chat that just let your cousin know that you're there, which is important because I think it's probably thinking all this time has passed. What's the rest of the family going to think? I'm going to cause all this drama, but just let them know, hey, I've got your back. And, if you decide you want to do something, I got your back, and I think that's really important.
So the victim has a relationship with this uncle. I don't. That's where we are right now.
Wait, what?
Whoa.
He's friends with the man who's actually.
I didn't think he was friends, but he communicates with through Facebook and other social media.
Damn, what is it called? Stockholm syndrome, where you like are still close with your oppressor. Jesus.
Fall in love with your captor,
This person is an adult, right?
Right.
How old is he?
I will get into that because we're going to
So,
start.
if the cousin's in their 40s or 50s, the uncle's in their 70s or so. So the main concern is, does the uncle, who has allegedly predated on the cousin when he was a kid, does the uncle have access to young children?
Right. That's the only thing you have to worry about. That's the only thing that you have any sort of moral obligation to really do something about, if that's the case. That's the only place you would have any kind of obligation, potentially, would be if he has access to kids. If he's just old and he doesn't seem to have access to kids anymore, then it's really just letting it go is not going to necessarily result in more victims.
Yeah, the reason why I asked how old this person is because of the whole, if it's a minor, then you have to get involved. But if they're an adult, there's nothing you can do. And the only thing you can do is go back to them and say, you told me this, it's been preying on my mind. What do you want me to do? Is there anything that you want me to do?
That really is good advice.
That's really good advice. That's the best advice you've got.
Reminds me of the old folk tale about the sin eater. You guys heard about that?
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah. And so, like, he transferred, like, he put a lot on you by sharing, and there was a reason he did it. So, like why? To share the burden with you?
Well, he got caught, Monica. I think he got caught with the guy, the officer, something Project was said, I think, and he was explaining. Project, is that right?
So
It's how it came out.
It was some kind of a sting or something, and we had to bail him out. And then that, because he had to come up with something. He had to say something because I wasn't going to take no for him. Where did this come from? What's going on here? And that's when it came out.
Wait, the cousin was repeating the behavior of the uncle?
Yeah, he got caught up in a sting at a bathroom. Picked up some cop or something. I don't know. I didn't get into it.
Canada used to do those things all the time in their acties. They would go to like gay men bathhouses and they stand next to a man in a stall. It's like, what? Like, why are you? But kind of
put a bath.
All right, I'm really the man off of the. I'm sure the gays are gonna be mad that I'm gonna bring this up. Like, there are certain areas where you know that you can go pick up other men, and therefore people will go and like cruise in those spots. So if you got picked up from a cop in one of those spots, it's because it's probably a known hot spot where other men will go to pick up other men. They have been doing this since the 70s when it was illegal to be out proud. So they will go to this park or go to this bathroom or go to whatever and try to hook up with other men. That is a thing, right? So if that's where he got caught in the solicitor thing, it's because the police already know about it and they're trying to monitor it, right? Like that's actually less of a red flag to me than you might think, just knowing this context. If there's a historical reason for it, everything had to be this great. Gay men didn't have Grindr, right, where you could hook up with other men. So the older gays used to do this shit all the time.
Like George Michael.
There's something.
And they were adults too.
There's a scene. My favorite movie, funniest movie on the planet, I think, is There's Something About Mary. There's a couple of scenes in that movie that were so funny. I mean, there was a scene in the park where Ben Stiller was on his knees in front of a guy. It wasn't what it appeared to be, and he got busted by the cops. Rolled in on him. It was this park that you're talking about, the same park. It's the type of situation you're talking about.
But I will say, Project, it does not. I know you don't want to say age, but it does sound like he's slightly older because the younger gays just go on Grindr, find their men, and fuck. They're not. The cruising is a thing, but it's not as common as it was in the 80s and 90s before the.
Another thing to consider is the fact that you were very firm about getting an answer. So I'm not sure if what his answer, how honest his answer was, because it was kind of under coercion. He had to give you some, whether he felt obligated, whatever his feelings were. I would be suspicious if it was true, because you weren't going to accept silence as an answer.
Yeah.
I do.
And that I had missed.
I actually interpreted it to be the opposite. The fact that he, someone, and I think given the situation, that doesn't frame it as someone just seeking, sympathy and attention from people. It just seems like something that was, has been there for.
Well, I tell you one thing. I definitely got some great advice, and Christian, I really appreciate what you said, and I'm both from you. But I'm going to guess that he's going to tell me just let it go. I mean, he's basically told me that already.
And I think that's really a good place to go about. I would. Since we kind of have landed, do we have another topic? Because y'all have.
Oh yeah, so it's the Times Square Shark here. How's everybody doing?
What's up?
People classing up.
I had a question. I've been waiting since before this conversation. I just wanted to tell real quick. He's not here anymore, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, so I answered the poll. I said the crash outs 20%, I guess. But there definitely could be more productive conversation and particularly, organization in different ways, I guess. But let's definitely keep it classy and not messy, and leave the mess at home and leave the red carpet here. And Cracker Barrel too, I have to comment. Really stupid. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. So. Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
What did Cracker Barrel do? Share with us. That restaurant.
Like Bud Light. Bud Light is not a Southern beer, dude. Let's just say that. So what happened with Bud Light with Cracker Barrel, you can't even imagine.
Wait, why did they take the old name off?
Well, controversy thing now because of saying the person is woke, and I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that she is, and and then they lost 200 million today.
There was some other groups that was saying it was a white man on there, and why did they have to have a white man on there? Why they couldn't put an Asian in? They said they're gonna have Cracker Barrel because
It's Cracker Barrel. I mean, come on.
But it is specific to white people because there's a white old man on there, so I don't know.
Wow.
But there's a certain historical preservation that you can include with companies, and dude, if how you started it and how it was founded, the story remains as it is. It doesn't need any more modifications beyond that, So the thing is, it's the decision of the CEO to make a statement. If she never changed the logo of it, she wouldn't be in the news, right? But she decided to. Why did she do that? Well, there's obviously a lot of reasons behind that, right?
Well, and there's tons of other companies over the last decade or more that has gone through the same transformation on all sides. I got old memorabilia up here on the shelf of Aunt Jemima bottles, and the pancake mix. I have so many things that have changed that I can't believe it. I don't understand it, but now I do. Thanks to Clubhouse.
Went through that with Jemima. Black people did.
And Uncle Ben's. They got rid of all the old labeling, and it's a shame. I don't understand it. Clubhouse is kind of.
But that's just stupid because they can say, listen, dude, this logo was created as part of our company history. We don't need to change it. We don't need to change it. It's not those same people that decided it. Now you can still say that, it may not reflect 2025 company culture, but you can preserve the actual, implementation of it.
Well, that's gay. That's just gay. That logo, the new logo sucks. The old one.
Yeah, their stocks did take like a $250 million hit today, and I guess they said that since this lady that became the new CEO, their profit margins gone down like 34%. It's just cost them a lot of money.
Yeah. Why don't they focus on just improving their food? I used to love Cracker Barrel. I can never say Cracker.
I love that Mama's breakfast.
Do you? I just feel like every time I've been in the last, decade, the food's cold. I don't know. It's not coming out hot.
Oh yeah, it's been years. Casserole.
Oh, I haven't tried it.
I like
It's like hash browns and then they bake it.
I do chicken.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel's stock price didn't go down because of the logo. The investors were concerned with all the restaurants. And whenever you do remodels on restaurants, you do not get an immediate payback. That payback is amortized over time. But it's something you do need to do. And many brands change their logos. McDonald's has changed their logos 7 or 8 times in their history. So, you could not like the new logo. You could
wax nostalgic about the old man, the barrel of the chair, but the stock price didn't go down because of the logo. $700 million to get a payback on it.
I thought they even had products like in the grocery store for a while, like Cracker Barrel, pancake mix, and the cereal or something, but
And butter too, AJ.
yeah, and the butter, right? But hey, I don't know. But people maybe have just started eating healthier because pancakes are just definitely not good for public.
I'm glad you brought that up because, you know, when they were having that McDonald's conversation earlier, all I kept thinking about was, y'all seen those 25-year-old hamburgers that were the day they were bought? There's something wrong with that food, y'all.
Right, no, seriously.
The wild animals won't even eat it.
Crazy. Like, 25-year-old hamburger and you unwrap it. What? What is that?
It's called expense saving. All right, we got to save these expenses on newer burgers so we can use the old 25-year-old.
Well, and try this.
What
If
kind
you know,
of meat is it?
I mean, it doesn't mold or
It's epoxy. We don't know. It just tastes good.
what are we eating?
well, and try this. If you know somebody with horses, take the apples to the horses, and the horses will not eat them.
Oh wow.
Horses don't eat apples.
No, McDonald's apples.
Oh, I was about to say because I know we just gave a horse an apple in April. It ate it.
Oh, I'm going to test that theory, Wallace. I'll test it this weekend.
Now, if the horses don't
My
eat the
horses
apples,
won't, but yeah, good luck. Tell me if yours will. That'd be an interesting test. Yeah, they'll eat the pre-ripe ones off the tree that you could barely pull off. They'll eat those, but they won't eat the ones out of the bag from McDonald's.
wow.
No, I know horses eat apples. That's the reason why I was going.
Right.
Maybe because they're pre-sliced and soggy.
It could be that serendipity. Do horses like, or are they averted to lemon or citrus?
They're like watermelon, but I don't honestly I've never tried citrus.
I can see how that could
But
work.
that could be maybe something in the apples, you think, Christian?
Yeah, I think that. Well, that's been a well-known antioxidant or oxidation thing with apples and stuff.
Yeah, preservative.
Yeah, natural preservative. You cover them.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried the citrus with horses.
They'll put it on their mouth. It makes them do the Mr. Ed thing. Their lips will start moving around and it's funny because it's tart and they will react. It's pretty funny. Does your horse talk as well? That happens. Oh, Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed peanut butter. That was peanut butter that made Mr. Ed do that.
I
They're
think
real
you're
funny
right.
when they're smelling something. They totally got that whole, lip over the teeth and like they're like clacking. It's hysterical when they're trying to smell something that's not a familiar scent to them. It's pretty outrageous.
Do you ask them why the long face when that happens?
I'm just willing to bet. Yeah, I'm willing to bet they won't eat them.
I have something really quick before we get away from this fast food. If you order from the menu, nothing special. You're ordering from the menu, and you're in the drive-through, and they pull you out, make you wait. Is that reasonable? Is that fair? Is that something we should tolerate?
Well, if the food isn't
I
ready,
don't know what choice you'd have other than leaving without your food.
The food's not ready. That's why they pull you out. I've worked in fast food for many years. I still do, and not an ideal situation for the operators. And certainly, you don't like somebody having to pull over to the stall and
and have a runner bring the food out. That's not efficient for the restaurant, and it certainly isn't a high level of customer service.
They'll call it modern food.
I'm waiting in queue like everyone else. I get up to my turn at bat, and you're going to tell me to wait longer so my time isn't as valuable as the person behind me? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm just saying the way the production works in the restaurant, if they don't have the fresh meat quarter pounders ready, you got to wait for them to cook.
You need to wait for your Happy Meal with double fries, sir, just like everybody
Waiting
else.
is fresh, more fresh. If it comes out cold, then you might have something to complain about.
Yes, you do.
All right.
So yeah, you just be content to wait on that food.
Yeah, that's so make it so.
Yes, ma'am.
If you order the ice cream and they actually are able to get it for you, please let me know the location because that would be the only one working.
You're always cleaning.
No, I was going to say, that's one thing that's changed for me since I've been on Clubhouse is I stopped eating fast food.
I can afford that.
Oh,
That's how it all started.
Nice circle back.
Right? Yes. Good health decision.
I have to get a second job to eat fast food. It's ridiculous.
Oh, I used to chat on here at like midnight after work, sometimes working till midnight, and I'd be going through the drive-thru getting a $15 Angus meal and sometimes extras. And I remember I used to stuff my face with so much fast food, and no longer. And I've lost 70 pounds over the last like 7 years, and it's great. I won't eat that crap anymore. That's why listening to you guys talk about McDonald's, I was kind of like, damn, you guys still eat that stuff?
Congratulations, cringe. Yeah, I mean, I was talking about McDonald's too. Now, I will still get a coffee from there or a Coke if it's like a cheap day. But on most part, I'm not eating at McDonald's though. Like, I don't eat McDonald's. I just cannot. Like you guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure people have seen it before where it's like you would just leave like a value meal and you can come back in like 4 days later and it's still the same. That's how it's gonna be inside your body too. It's not gonna like break down, which is gonna be having you bloated. It just calories and fat that we don't need. I'm always working on, especially at my age, because I'm perimenopause. So I have to watch, like, somebody said earlier, like, it's not good for my waist. Like, I can't just eat like a child no more like I used to. It's just something I just can't do with it. It's gonna have me swole, and then just everyday stress. Stress causes inflammation as well. Sometimes you be feeling bloated, and you like, I'm bloated. You might be one of them, but if you like feel like you had a stressful day, stress causes inflammation. So be mindful of that too, ladies.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. Y'all, I'm going to do a shameless plug for a minute too, because I'm just really, really excited. Scarlett is going to be hosting a room in the Muff this weekend. So if you haven't followed the house, make sure you follow the house. We're going to do the what's it called? I forgot, Scarlett. The
Discussing the father wound, the father effect documentary by John Finch.
The father effect. We're going to raise up some men this weekend. We're going to take a little bit of an anti-gender war approach and give a shout out to all of the good men in the world.
Scarlett, what is it called? I have to call you Scarlett. What?
Hey, AJ. It's good to hear your voice.
What's it called?
The documentary by John Finch is called The Father Effect. And he talks about the father wound and how important dads are and what happens to children, both girls and boys. when they don't have a positive male role model in their formative years.
Yes, I think people underestimate that impact of fathers. Okay, when are you guys on the road?
Saturday,
I'm not sure. What time?
morning.
Saturday morning.
I won't make y'all get up at 7 though. It'll be morning. Maybe we'll do a pre-show, get everybody their muffins and coffee, and then
Yeah. For sure.
You guys have your own in the muffins?
We have muffins and coffee every morning.
But are they in the muffins coffee?
Yes.
In the muffins? Wow.
They're muffins in the muff. It's another good room tonight, guys. Thanks for everybody that participated. They all did good, Monica.
yeah, I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
I do like projects, PTR. I have a honey badger in my photo album. Okay, before we shut the room down, who is counting people's PTR albums and think like they? If you have one PTR.
I was going to send you a message, Ayo, and I accidentally hit mine. But it's okay. I think we're closing up soon.
Yeah, and Ayo's a good person. I wouldn't mind it. Oh, you don't have to drop yourself down for that.
Aww.
Back up.
What was your question?
So it's like, who has 30 PTRs in their phone PTR album? I'm like, girl, I had 120. Like what's it to you? Like why you paying attention so hard? Why do people do that?
Shaming the amount of pictures I have under my account? Are you serious? Like somebody is shaming you. Is that what I'm
Hey,
hearing?
let me live my PTR album life. That's the best update through all 100. I'm okay with that.
No one's forcing you to go through all my pictures.
See, just because somebody said that, I'm going to upload all the deep fakes of myself to this one. I have hundreds of them. Don't ask me why I have so many deep fakes of myself as a woman, but it's hilarious. But my wife is like, you know what? That doesn't look that bad. And I'm like, okay, that's awkward. And I had a friend once here, I won't say who. He's like, is that your sister? And I was like, no, dude, that's me. But here, this one you can tell because I left the facial hair on, so it's like super.
I was like, look, there's no limit. When Clubhouse tells me I can only have 200, then maybe I'll only have 200. But until then, like, leave me alone.
The things that people will notice and say, what is that? Are just, they're so wild.
Haters gonna hate y'all.
Scott, you're out of control. You're out of control, Scott.
Well, I did feel a little self-conscious, so I did move myself down to a slim 98. But I had 120.
I've enjoyed perusing your collection of photos. I see the little history. I'm like, oh, that's what that meant at that time. I died. Okay.
120 is called a hoarder. You're a hoarder.
Is digital hoarder even a thing? Don't judge my hard drives. Don't judge my thumbstick.
Y'all want to go into a competition about how many unread emails we have? Because
Like, I just made a new email account. I don't even look at my old one. It's like, whatever. You have to email me at my new address. I don't even use that anymore. I can't help.
The better would be how many emails do you delete without even reading them. I'm just delete them right off the bat.
So he's like, hey AI, can you help me write this long email? It's beautiful. And I'm like, yo, too long, don't care, don't want to read. Please, one point.
I'm on the.
So it sounds like we all play tag.
All right, Serendipity. What were you playing and listening to tonight while you sleeping?
Girl, I don't know.
So, Chili's and Moy Belts used to have 12-hour rooms like last year. RPO, they are 24-hour people too. Because I don't think you want to put a replay on that just lasts 3 hours, right? If you don't find a good room in the hallway that you know that you can count on to sleep to.
Yeah. Wait, Serendipity, you fall asleep to replay.
Go smoke.
Truth Seekers Tavern, I really like Researcher. I really do. And I don't you like conspiracy theories. Do you know about Truth Seekers Tavern?
I don't want to think that much when I'm falling asleep.
Is that a house?
I like when they read scripture. They read scripture. I'm just like, that's fine. They think that they make the argument they're the real Jews, so we can avoid that part of it. But they get into reading scripture, and some dude's got this bellowing, preacher voice. It puts me to sleep.
Like Truth Seekers Tavern, Abby, or something else?
It's biblical smoke.
Biblical smoke. I didn't hear what you had said, so I was talking about Truth Seekers Tavern. So we had a little wire across. Researcher Stoff. He's got a platform on X too, and I think he has a Discord also. You like him, Wallace? I like.
Just stay on this one and find something. There used to be a guy I would fall asleep to. So I think he's back. The guy Faithful. Have you ever listened to him? Faithful.
No, how is happy?
So he debunks the Black Hebrew Israelites, but he also reads scripture. So I just I'll fall asleep listening to it. I don't care. Either side of it, I don't care.
It's preacher outside the Starbucks. It's like, hey, just background noise.
It's background noise. But if it's too intellectual, I can't get to sleep. Then I'm thinking too much.
Ooh, so that's an interesting measure. I never even thought of that. Listen, it has to be stupid enough that my brain just naturally go, go to sleep.
That's stupid, but just
kidding.
Not.
In the middle.
It's I don't want the news, I gotta fall asleep to something